So this is going to be a bit of a look at the other account that I have. Let's see. Oh, something expiring. I don't know. Well, there is something to do, but yeah, this account at one point was, and I want to make sure that the audio doesn't get as covered up. This is something super random, but I use a Galaxy S25 Ultra. Is that the microphone? Which one is the microphone? But I'm sure there's a reason, but it doesn't make sense why I need to use a third-party app to be able to run two separate copies of this game, which does through, in theory, well, it's just an app. It makes it, it's fine. It's just an app, whatever, to get to your other account, because I don't want to have to go in and log out. I want to be able to just open it at any given moment. And if you don't want to be bombarded with advertisements, because it's advertisements every time, obviously, you have to pay a subscription service. And that's really, really annoying. I would like if I could just have it two of the same icon on the home screen and not have to go through an app and watch ads that then redirect you somewhere else, and you watch ads when it opens, and then you have to watch ads when you open the app. And a bit of a workaround has been, if you know that you're going to be playing the game for a while throughout the day, you just leave it open in the background, and then you don't have to, from what I've experienced, you don't have to rewatch ads. You can just reconnect, and that's fine, but I'd really rather not leave something open in the background draining the battery constantly. But let's see. Now, this account versus the other one, I want to say that it is more well-rounded, because this one is 8.2 as opposed to the one that I've been playing more often is 1.2 mil lower in the base hero rating. But this one has this not updated yet? It hasn't, for whatever reason. This account that's being shown actually has the rank 5 Doctor Strange, so I don't know if it just needs to update or what. See, I get pop-ups. I hate the pop-ups. I've accidentally bought stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It must just not be updated. I'm not gonna buy your shit, and it doesn't matter how many times you pop it up to me. It's like YouTube advertisements. Like, I'm not gonna, oh yeah, let me go see what this advertisement for some fucking stupid game that's not gonna be anything like the advertisement. Like if you advertise to me, even just a basic product, I'm not gonna download your product. But I'd say this account is more well rounded, especially when it comes to like 6 stars. My other one doesn't have this many maxed out, ranked up 6 stars. But I personally think 6 stars are still viable. Maybe not in battlegrounds, but in the general sense of the word, especially if you're doing something and a lot of people don't like arena, but you know, they're not totally useless. But this one has like Mr. Sinister, Awakened, and pretty much the whole top row, excluding Onslaught and Shothra. I don't have those champs on my other one, which is the whole point. And my Crossbones is Awakened. On my other one, he's not. But on my other one, Okoye and Carolina Dean and Cassandra Nova are all Awakened. I don't have Viv Vision. I don't have Arnim Zola. Gladiator isn't Awakened. Arcade, both Awakened, and Atuma. But on the other one, they are Ascended. So kind of the luck of the draw sort of thing. But I found myself not playing this account nearly as much. I mean, even coming down to the units, my other one is, I think it's either 16 or 17,000 at this point. Kindred's not Awakened on the other one. Red Hulk isn't. Hyperion, Shocker. But this account definitely has promise. That's like it just kind of needs to be played. But even things like this, I mean, but there's a lot of stuff that this game is doing that I do think is. Oh, wrong one. It's this one. Let's see. Yeah, see, I haven't even touched these. So let's see what is. So which Nico is up there at 10. 10. But I mean, Kushala just absolutely obliterates this. And I could just probably use the 6 star. Let's go see. But the random, conspiracy that I'll ramble about in this one is why working in restaurants sucks. I've worked in restaurants now for probably 4 years or so. So I just need T5s. Oh, well, she's at rank 4, though. Ascend. Yeah, so I probably just use the 6 star on both. Well, I don't know. 21k, what is that one? 22, so I could just rank her up, and she's really good too. But here, 1 second. Okay, cool. Okay, so we need. Oh, just one? Yeah, it's not that bad. Essentia is at 55k. I think it's 60 you get the whole 100. That's pretty good. But a lot of people don't like the Essentia. I actually do. I like that. Okay. I do like that, and see, they're right next to each other. Like it, like It seems like what they are trying to do is this one, Mysterium, is more low level stuff. Then Essentia is higher grade stuff. And then Radiance is the top of the ladder. It's a huge pain in the ass to get. You know, Mysterium is pretty much handed to you. And then Essentia isn't really that bad. Now, Solo Raid, I think this is one of the ways you can get Radiance, which I don't really do it. Like, I mean, I only have 15k, and I just really, like, I can't get through Battlegrounds, really. Like, damn, I haven't even done that, but, like, let's see. Is it in special? Where? I don't even know. So, I mean, it does get kind of confusing. But I'm going to run through some of this stuff. I guess kind of show the account a bit, which, you know, I don't know how important that is really, but so we'll start off with this one. Yeah, might as well. We'll try it out. But she does do pretty good, honestly. And I think I can use the 6-star on this and the one previous. I'm pretty sure. So I'm sure I could do it better. But we need to move the. Well, that wasn't good. But in regards to working in restaurants, I'm not sure if anyone, you know, it's kind of it's like a pretty common thing for people to work in restaurants, especially through like college age. But I've worked all the way from, you know, a lot nicer fine dining to kind of, you know, I don't want to call them bunk restaurants because it's never places that are, I'm probably doing her wrong, but I really don't use Kushala ever, but restaurants are these very, you know, because there's a current kind of, how do I put it, like, people just really hate on, I'm doing terrible at this. People really hate on people that work in restaurants, and people really don't like tipping, but from my experience working in restaurants, I'm not going to say that this is everyone, but something you get when working in restaurants, and a way I could try to explain it is when you go to, say, the coffee house, right? There are people that when you get to know the barista, you might not do this as much, but people oftentimes treat service industry workers that they are, damn, I'm getting smoked for the most part. But people treat it like this, you know, you are the barista, or you're the cashier checkout person for, you know, McDonald's, and view it as a time to berate people, you know, and I've watched it, I've experienced it, people want you to be a servant. They want you to be. They want you to shut the. What is it? Put the fries in the bag. Like they don't need your. They don't need your opinion. They don't want it. And I get that. That's fine. But people that are working in restaurants are like I like to classify people in restaurants as usually of three different things. It's people that are in school, it's people that are working on something else, or it's just people that have completely given up. Like they've just totally accepted that they're working in a restaurant and they're going to be doing that for the rest of their life because they don't have anything else that they want to do or could do. And that not everyone is going to have a goal, a dream, an aspiration, something that they're passionate about, and that's fine. But at the same time, something I've noticed in restaurants is, like I said, they want you to be like a servant. They're not looking for you, put the fries in the bag, so to speak. They're not looking for you to be an individual with, a personality. They want you, and something I've noticed that these sorts of people do is they play the role of customer, and if you are not on board with it, they will it's such a I don't even know how to put it. It's like if you're not willing to play their game, then they will complain and they will aim to get free shit, and they want you to bend knee to them. And when you don't, that's when it is the exact same feeling as when you're a kid and another student is like, I'm gonna tell the teacher on you. That it is so. I am doing terribly, but it is so. I forgot what the fuck I was saying just now, but yeah, I don't remember what the fuck I was saying, but regardless of whatever I was saying, speaking and trying to fucking keep up with doing this is like really difficult, but when I worked fine dining, and there's so much to this, and damn, I am just, how close am I to finishing this one? I don't care. And see, again, pop-ups, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see this every single fucking time, so I need 100 more. Okay. Not everyone can or does have goals, dreams, and aspirations. Like, that's totally fine and acceptable. But when you do, and if you do, you should know that working in restaurants, people are going to try and destroy that within you. People are going to try and make you be put in your place. It's a complete destruction of... just blocking it's better. It's a complete destruction of any form of self-identity. And it's I want to use the word capitulate, like it's this get on your knees and serve me. And if you don't, and then you're being paid for it. Like, you're being paid to completely how do I put it? Like it's bordering prostitution in a way, or that's what it feels like. And another problem in restaurants is that like people will like when you go to McDonald's, right? You go to McDonald's and you have these expectations of these people. These people likely fucking hate themselves is one thing. Like they're deeply unhappy. Like, do you want to work at McDonald's? Do you want to work in restaurants? McDonald's are different, but it's handling food. These places are fucking disgusting. You know, like as I've said, I've done fine dining and I've heard stories about some of these restaurants, like back in the late 90s or late 80s, you know, when regulations were a lot more lenient. And damn, this motherfucker cracking me fucking cracking me in block. They're absolutely disgusting. Like they are fucking disgusting. Like one place that I've worked at, which would be considered fine dining due to the name of who owned it, and so this this is just one, and I wasn't paying attention. Great, this is just one. So you get bread when you go into a lot of these places, right? That bread has probably been sitting in the back in a bag for upwards of 3 to 4 days. It's not reused. And then when it is old and stale and right before it expires, they're going to turn it into a dish that then they're going to charge a fucking premium on. They're going to make it a special, and it's going to be more expensive because it's a special, but then the fucking bread is like, well, they need it to be stale. Oh, well, it works better when it's stale. Okay, well, one of the times that I was dealing with getting bread for a table, and you put it in a bread warmer and you wrap it in some fucking, you know, like a cloth towel, you know, and it's supposed to give this appearance of it being like high class. Okay, well, would you still eat the bread if you knew that it was literally not but 2 seconds prior to you eating it, it has like a cockroach on it? And when I say that, it's something that happened. Like I was like getting bread for a table, has a cockroach on it. I go to the manager and he says, "Oh, did you see which ones it got on? Yeah, just throw the ones it got on away and keep selling it. Keep giving it to people." One of the times at this same place that again is closed now, not surprised, the kitchen manager he didn't almost stab someone, but he was totally willing to stab somebody. It was a place where there was a window, that you could see the kitchen from the dining room. And I watched him through that. So bear in mind, people eating can see this. They had, if anyone's worked in restaurants, they have these printers that are going to print the tickets on, and they're almost universal. Like, it's always the same printer. They're never different. And a cockroach was in the printer, and now it wasn't those big ones, they're the little ones. And yoink. And he notices that there's a cockroach in the printer, and the cockroach was crushed up, and so it's the cockroach guts and he took the towel because kitchen staff will usually keep towels on them so that they can wipe down plates, wipe down, their knives and things like that. Well, he used the cockroach towel or the towel to scoop, like to clean up the cockroach guts, and then went and took the towel and started wiping a plate with it, maybe, you know, 10 seconds after. He just shook the towel off and then just kept using it. And I mean, I'm like appalled by this. Like, I'm like bored. I'm like genuinely fucking disgusted. And that's just one of the, like, if you, like, these are fine dining places. So if you think that places like McDonald's or anywhere that's above that you could say, oh yeah, that's better than McDonald's, like even Reginelli's, like I've never worked at Reginelli's, but if it's anything like all these other places, I mean, these are like the people that work in restaurants because it's quick, easy money. It is low. It's low responsibility. Like you can go in a restaurant, especially once you have restaurant experience. If you are capable of pretty much being put on the floor, taught, the table numbers, then you pretty much go and you are just directly, you're just put right into the rotation. There's no training, because a lot of the training is pretty much just, okay, there is really no training because the turnover is so bad that there's no point in training some of these people. There really isn't. And when I say that it's people who, oh word, I'm already finished that one? That was fast. Okay. I mean, when I say it's people in school working on something else or have just completely given up, it's probably, I'd say, a safe 80% have just completely given up. So it's quick, easy money. And I've done service industry jobs. I've done bellman, I've done valet, I did valet for a long time. And that one really isn't that bad, especially if you have the right crew and location. I mean, you can make a lot of money doing valet. And a lot of it can be tax-free, because there's really no way that the government knows how much money you're making in cash. There's no way to really prove it, and they're never going to, because when you're working something like valet, you're making $10 an hour or 9 or 8 or whatever, and then it really is, there's no limit on, now you might get totally caught and fired, but you could totally make, if you're absolutely stealing money, which you always really are, because you're obviously supposed to be honest and not charge people money in cash that is intended to be paid to the booth. But let's be real here. Every single valet place I've ever worked at does that, and there's no getting around it. And part of the problem, even with that, because I worked at this pretty nice hotel for several years, and it was owned by a singular family for the most part, and then it partnered with another higher end hotel chain. But I want to say they kept like 51%. And I was a supervisor at one point, so I saw their numbers. So to me, when I saw these numbers of what these people who are just owners, the amount of money that they're making, and I mean, it is life-changing money. 4 months for anyone would be enough money for them to probably live off for the rest of their life if they're smart about it. So when it was that, it was Like, these people, I'm convinced, knew what was going on, but as long as we didn't get carried away with it, they didn't care. The second that it was sold off from them to the chain hotel that was like their partner, once they got 100% ownership of it, all of that changed. It became completely corporatized. They started wanting you, like, they would want to get rid and see, this is the like conspiracy theory in it and how it relates to hotel or restaurants, because they're so similar. The place that I worked at was the stepping stone of a lot of upper management. So they would go there and they would work there for about 6 months, but each time they're going to want to uncover some conspiracy theory of who's stealing money or why the money's not good enough. But the problem is that the money, even from, because I was a supervisor, so I'm seeing this, like, the money cannot continuously get better. They would raise the price like every 6 months to a year. The parking somehow would change in accordance to price, to where when you're going to some of these cities, it's $50 for overnight parking. That's fucking outrageous. There's no reason, because I assure you, these parking lots that are valet means that you cannot go upstairs. Well, yeah, they don't want you upstairs, most likely because you're going to see how disgusting of a place it is. So they're not renovating the parking lots. They're not. And then they'll put like a pool on the top of the parking lot, and it's a saltwater pool, and saltwater doesn't fucking mesh well with concrete. So there's saltwater pouring through the fucking ceilings of these places, all over your car, saltwater all over your fucking car that has concrete crap in it. I mean, it's like, is it worth $50? Fuck no, it's not worth $50. But these higher up people will then want to fire people like, I knew I was getting a target on my back when I was like the one of the top 3 paid employees, and at the time when I was all concerned about it, it's because I wasn't even a supervisor. The HR lady who liked me at the time, because she was a long-term HR lady before it became completely fucking corporate, honored my supervisor pay. So when it was post COVID, I was no longer a supervisor, but they honored the pay because that's what I was making prior. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, bitch, I don't like that's all, like, the money I'm making for my hourly is what's put on my W-2. So I would have preferred them not do that. But it's this constant greed factor, wanting to make themselves look like they're important, so to land them some fucking job where they're doing effectively nothing. Because a lot of these people that were working in the offices weren't really doing anything. They were making phone calls and sending emails. That was it. All of the money, the revenue, came from the valet, the bellman, the front desk, the concierge, the bartenders. Those were the people who were making their money, and then they start getting this further and further scope, looking over your shoulder, making sure that no money is going like lost. But the problem is that when they start firing these people who have been in those positions for 10, 15 years, 20 years, 8 years, however long it is, you are getting rid of the face of like people will come to see them. They're not going to the hotel because it has great drinks. They're going to see this specific employee. And when they try and get rid of them, what class is this? It just ruins business, and then they're shocked why the fucking business is going down. And then so what is their like solution? We'll just raise the price of parking. So I mean, it's just, they shoot themselves in the foot. What the fuck one is this? Every 8 seconds in special attacks. Okay, so Mutant skill mystic. Mutant. That's a lot of fucking mutants. Mutant skill, mystic skill. He'll smoke the shit out of it. Mystic, and we can do mystic with her too. And we'll see if we get through this. But with restaurants, there's a lot of overlap in that. And the overlap, I guess, is different because, you know, like I said, with restaurants, it's like 80% of the people that work in restaurants have completely given up and they don't care at all about anything. They hate themselves, they're drug addicts, they're likely alcoholics, and they show up to work drunk or on drugs or hungover, and the places are fucking disgusting, and they put on this veneer of who you think they want you to be or who they think you want them to be. And so it's all a charade. And people know that, and they go to restaurants to get that because they're commonly not very important people in their own life. And so when they go to a restaurant, they want to feel important, so they want you to, be lower than them. They want you to be this, and it's fucking crazy, dude, because, working in restaurants, I became an alcoholic. I've been 5 months clean now, but I became an alcoholic, and people would treat you the best when you are bordering, you're like hungover and borderline, or you are in withdrawals from alcohol, so you need to run to the store or bring booze with you to stop it. That's when people like you the best. People like you the best when you're working in a service industry, whatever the case, whichever wherever that is. When you are, in such a shitty position, and they can tell that you are in this wretched position, and they can like feel bad about you and feel better about themselves. It's really fucked up. But, over time you start to recognize these patterns of the types of people who want you to be in this just completely fucked up position. And it's not just the guests or customers, it's management too. Because most of the management that are in restaurants and higher up, the people like if you're in fine dining, they might be a captain, which their captain is the top of the three tier. It's like captain, front waiter, back waiter, and then it's the kitchen staff, like runner. They don't have anything else going for them. No one with a brain in their head is gonna sit in that position. They're not. They're not going to let themselves be degraded and just totally, told everything that's wrong with you. And there is a lot of completely breaking you as a person. And so this is, if anyone, because my last video, nobody's watched it, and I really don't expect anyone to watch this one either, and I really don't expect anyone to hit 40 minutes into a ramble. But if you value your sanity, and there's probably a lot that I'm missing to say about this, because normally once I actually start recording, then I have all of this trouble fucking getting to the point, or all these points that I have, I always just seem to blank on them. But if you value your sanity and you value your sense of self identity, don't work in restaurants for a long period of time. They can be good for a short stint, and you can make a lot of money depending where you're working. But it's like a loop. I'm not going to be working in them for very much longer. I'm finally getting into the field that I want to work in. Let me do something that's a bit lighter so that I don't like. But at the same time, I'm finally getting into what it is that I want to do, or a field that I want to be in. And you do kind of get in this revolving door, like losing yourself sort of situation working in restaurants. that you can't, like eventually all of your hopes and dreams die. They eventually all collapse, they all die, and you become this shell of a person that you don't even recognize. And it's sad because, it doesn't really have to be that way, but if you think about it, jealousy is a very common human trait to have. And which I don't think everyone thinks this way. If people have, dude, I just am not doing well against this dude. If people have like something that they find fulfillment in, they don't really seem to do this. And there are absolutely people who can be great and very helpful in restaurants, but the most like the common factor in it is these people either have accomplished something, because I've met people who do have, a really solid background. They used to do this or they used to do that, and they just want a place that they can, kind of take it easy, and they don't want to be stressed out. And so it's not that it's everyone, but management. Like, just imagine the worst possible person you could imagine from grade school that you think, like, oh, I'm just so excited to get away from this person. I don't want to ever have to see this person again. Okay, well, now imagine they're your fucking boss. Like, just that fucking person, that fucking bitch who you just can't stand. And for whatever reason, this is another conspiracy theory that I have about restaurants, is you'll think, how the hell did this person who's a complete fucking idiot, who can't do anything right, and they're your fucking boss? Well, they're your boss because your boss doesn't want to hire or promote the competent person, because they may then be at potential of taking their job. So of course they're going to want someone who's mildly incompetent, follows orders, does whatever the hell you say, or what upper management says, because they want to keep their position as well. And that's completely justified. I mean, if you really think about it, because some of these people really do, they got families and they got like bills to pay. And so are they gonna want to put someone in power in there that can take their position and remove them from a potentially $80, $90, or $100,000 a year job? Like, of course they're not going to want to. But it becomes this very toxic work environment to be in. And I have a lot more to like say in regard to that, or just in restaurants in general. But like I said, for whatever reason, the second I start recording, it all just goes fucking blank, because I've had this discussion with people over and over and over again. And I don't think playing while trying to make a point works or helps. But I noticed with the last video, I didn't really think about, like, I don't know, I'm one of those people that I have like a pretty loud internal dialogue, so I noticed it definitely helped. And if anyone were to be listening in to this far, that's probably what a lot of these videos will be, is just an hour-long rant about a topic that upsets the fuck out of me, because I don't think all of this, I don't think it needs to be this way. Like it's always people that in the next video that I'll be making right after this, I don't know if I'll record or post them at the same time, but it'll be kind of somewhat on the topic. But it would just be nice if it didn't have to be that way. But if you think about it, it makes sense, and the next topic at hand will directly lead into this because it's another point of it. But I mean, I guess like to give maybe more of a kind of a bullet point reason why restaurants suck, and it's something like if you've never worked in one, then it does like it makes sense to people who've worked in them. But say you want a Sprite, okay, which seems to be a fairly simple order. Like it makes sense. Like, oh, a Sprite, that's really simple. Okay, well, what if it's busy? There's no fucking cups left, so you have to go have them cleaned. So you have to go find where they're cleaned at, which might be the dish pit, might be the bar. And then when you get that finished, or you get that, now, okay, there's no ice. So you have to go get the fucking ice. Which, okay, fine. You know, you just have to go get some fucking ice. Doesn't sound too bad. Okay, well now, and bear in mind, this shit has happened. Like, it's been probably worse than I'm making it, it's been worse than this. So not only are there no cups, there's no ice, and then when you get, now the Sprite is fucking flat. There's no carbonation in the Sprite. And worse is when you get the drink to the table, and that's when they're going to tell you, oh yeah, the fucking Sprite is flat. And so you have to do all that shit again. Now imagine if you have like 9 fucking tables to deal with. They can range from 2 to 9 people. So you might have in total 20 to 30 different people that you're having to deal with. And you have to remember all of this shit. You have to remember everything that's going on. And people say, well, why don't you just, you know, do a different job? And that's absolutely fucking true. But some of these people, like I said, are drug addicts, alcoholics. They're people with kids and families, and they have bills to pay, and they're in debt, or they're a big gambler, or whatever the case may fucking be, that they can't just go get another job. Like, it's not like they going and just, oh yeah, like, now I might be an exception, right? Because there's been plenty of just jobs that I've gotten because I go in, I am qualified, I know what I'm talking about, I'm a fairly personable person, you know, and I got 150 on this one. And so I have walked into places and just found work overnight. Like, literally, when can you start sort of conversation. But that's not the case for everyone, you know. My background in terms of like what I do is I'm already involved in fine arts, so that by itself has a lot. I'm writing a book about it. That in itself has a lot of assistance, I guess, like, because how it is, like if anyone's, you know, a lot of people like to draw, but not everyone can really take something from start to finish and have it look like a final product. And there's so much that goes into that it's such a deep psychological thing that it absolutely helps you when it comes to just normal, you know, life sort of things. And so maybe I'm in a position, because I fall into the in school and working on something else category, not the fucking completely given up category, that you know, even my current job or the job that I've just got hired for, I'm going to school for something, and I had a goal that I wanted to reach, and I had a place that I wanted to start working at, and I went in there and I had, you know, the basic vision, and I fit the bill of what they're looking for. And so I was like on the spot hired. I didn't even submit an application. I didn't have a resume. it was because I was saying the right things, and a lot of people don't have that, and that's totally fucking understandable. And we don't need everyone having, big dreams and big goals, and I want to have, a business or a fucking Ferrari or whatever the case may be. But, and the topic of the next video is not everyone has that, and so they make what they make things that aren't as important more important than they are, and that detriments basic industry like serving, which at one time was considered a more of a career. Well, it's not a fucking career anymore. No one wants to fucking be a career server. Anyone that is getting into that position where they're in it for the long haul, they're going to be moving up to management. They're going to be moving up to something more important in their own mind, or in the larger scheme of things, than being a fucking server. Because like I was saying, I probably got way off topic. It may seem really simple and really whatever to, well, just put the dessert order in. Well, sometimes the servers are making the dessert for you, and sometimes say it's lunch, like where I'm currently working, it's lunch, I work alone, and sometimes like yesterday it was raining, and for whatever reason everyone and see, this is another part of it. When it's raining, rain usually tends to make people less energetic, and it's not gloomy, it's just that they're not as alert when it's 4 o'clock and it's sunny out, but it's fucking noon and it's drizzling and it's overcast and it's never really hit sun that day. Everyone wants to come in, but then these people will have this chipper, overly chipper. They're all medicated out. They're all on these shitloads of medications. It's blatantly obvious, and they are just chipper as a motherfucker. And when you don't match that energy with them, it pisses them off. And then so imagine maybe it's usually 10 or 15, 20%, maybe 25% people will be so fucking chipper sometimes that it literally irritates me. And I understand that it's not right to feel that way, but it irritates the fuck out of me because I already know what's going to come around that corner when I have to go and handle you as a table. They're going to be like, hey, how are you today? And if you're not, well, I'm great, how are you? It's immediate, oh, this guy's in a bad mood, oh, he just doesn't want to be here. But the common thing when it comes to, let's go rank this bitch up. The common person is going to be gloomy, dreary, and want to just eat food and relax. Okay, well, you don't think that the server, myself, might also be in a bit of a gloomy, I'm not really in the mood to do this shit today, and especially because now that I have this other job that I'm going to be getting, you're going to be starting on the 1st of next month, I'm not really interested in having 50 people all at once come in, back to back to back to back to back, and then they're standing at the, and this will be let me set it up for you. You're getting waters for another table. A table's just sat down, so you have to get them waters as well. One of the other ones needs to have their fucking order taken. Another one needs to be cleaned off. There's people sitting or standing at the door, and it's 6 of them, and they want to sit at the bar. And the other person working with you, who's the MOD, manager on duty, might be completely gone off in the office doing something the fuck else. So you're making all the drinks, you're making the desserts, you're the one that has to buzz the tables. You're taking the orders, you're the one having to fill waters, you're the one that has to do everything except bring the food to the table. So if you have a runner or expo that's helping you out, then yeah, it makes it easier, but it gets to this point where you simply cannot fucking manage everything. And then you're paid $8 an hour, but that's because they pay cash at the end of every shift. So your paycheck is maybe $120 working full time, but your daily pay that day may be $50, $60, $100. It just simply isn't worth it. It's just simply not worth it. And these restaurants, effectively depend upon having people that have nothing else going on. They're completely subservient to the job. They want to work as much as abso-fucking-lutely possible. So they're racking shitloads of overtime, but they're not getting paid overtime. If they are, I don't know if they are because I never work fucking overtime. Like, you never have weekends off, you never have holidays off. You know, you can vaguely support yourself because a lot of these lower end restaurant jobs are for people that are in the bracket of working on something else or in school, and they don't fucking want to do that shit. I don't want to fucking do that shit. Like, it gets nighttime, and this is always, dude, this always fucking happens, dude. It'll be nighttime, and it'll be 15 till close, and there's gonna be those people that come in 15 till closed, and they're gonna be like, oh, well, it says y'all are open till such a time, blah, blah, blah. Well, half the staff are probably depressed, miserable, on shitloads of psychiatric meds. They've been working a double. They've been there all day. They opened the bitch, and now they have to close it. They're racking around 13 hours, and at the end of the day, they make $280, if that, for the whole fucking day. And it's like, they're like, okay, yeah, 280, that's cool. Yeah, but you're like struggling the whole fucking day, and then there's no sense of accomplishment. There's no sense of accomplishment at all. There's no fulfillment. I don't know who in their right, like, I don't know who in the fuck it's that fits the category of making things more important than they really are. To be like, oh, I'm just so fulfilled that I was able to give these people a positive, good experience at the restaurant, while the fucking person giving the experience likely wants to go home and blow their fucking brains out. Like, literally, like, some of these people are suicidal. So no, they're literally miserable. And you go and you do it all over again the next day, and then there's gonna be some fucking jackass. Like, I remember this dude was getting on my fucking ass and complained to the owner because she happened to be there that day. And I was on 6 days straight, so I was working 6 days, and I was going to the gym full time. I'm technically in recovery from alcohol because of fucking restaurants, largely. And then on top of that, I'm doing finals for the, like, career job field I want to get in. So I'm on 6 days. I don't have a single day off. It's been that way for 3 months. I'm in finals week. It was like finals, I think, was Friday. Sunday this happened. And then it was like Fridays I did finals. Then or no, it was Thursday, because I only go Monday through Thursday. It was Thursday, but then this happened on Sunday, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It was like a day, 2, 3 days later. So I'm like dealing with finals. I haven't had a day off in the entire semester. I'm going to the gym again to try to get back into, like, like I'm fat or nothing, but like trying to go and get back into weightlifting. And so I'm fucking exhausted. Like, I'm fucking exhausted. And this guy with this, just all these stupid ass fucking questions. Like, I remember this guy, his buddy who showed up and has showed up late, was like, what's the difference? Like, he asked me, so there's like, there's grilled or fried, like something basic like that. He was like, what's the difference? And he points to the two. What's the difference between this and this? Like asking the difference between something being grilled or fried. And I'm like, and I remember I said to him, I was like, it's cooked differently. And he's like, no, 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 I know that. What's the difference? And I'm kind of sitting there like, dude, I was like by myself. It's shift change. I'm on a double that day. So, or pretty much a double. I went in at 1 o'clock and I get off at like midnight. So pretty much a fucking double. And I'm like looking at him thinking like, dude, do you not see what the fuck is going on in this restaurant right now? And that there's no one else here to help me right now. They're all like shift change, like the people are leaving and others are coming in, and it's not their time to start. They don't want to fucking be there either. So I'm like sitting there having this conversation with this guy thinking like, do you not, like, are you not paying attention, or do you just not care? And it's never about the food being wrong, or it's not cooked right, or it didn't get there in a timely manner. Their complaints are always something like, his attitude wasn't to my expectation, which is capitulating to them, getting on your knees and begging and pleading and kissing their ring. That's what they want. And it's just this fucking irrationalness of people. And then the dickhead's like, oh yeah, I own restaurants, like blah blah blah. So you own restaurants, so you think you somehow have the fucking authority to come and reprimand me and then tell me stupid shit like, well, there's just no excuse. Like, the excuse is no one working in a restaurant wants to fucking work in a restaurant more often than not. I guarantee you that one every maybe 500 people working in restaurants were like, yeah, I wanted to work in a restaurant. Because anybody who says that literally doesn't have anything else that they're working towards to get fulfillment from, unfortunately. So if you're listening this far in, which I doubt, all these videos are probably going to be over an hour long because I just ramble the fucking whole time and don't talk the other half and make no sense part of the time. But if you value your mental sanity, make restaurants at most a 2-year thing. Don't do it for forever. Go in when it's hitting busy season. Do it like 2 months before it hits busy season. So you need to get in there around midway through summertime. May, June, July, August. So like July or August. And then work for about a year and then quit. Or tell them you need time off during the summer and take 2 months off. That would be my recommendation. I didn't do that, but that's my recommendation. Save as much money as you possibly can. Put it in like a Roth IRA or a high yield savings account. Do not fucking touch it and start saving money. That would be my recommendation. And try to pay off debt and don't build a whole ton of it because it fucking sucks to have to deal with.